about how to pick your major, and that's actually really harder than you think, especially with me. I'm still deciding, even though I'm a freshman. So give it up for Mimi Nguyen.
Hello, so at rehearsal I imagined a more dramatic entrance, but I guess this will do. So you've probably heard many times people telling you to follow your heart or follow your dreams, but today I'm not going to repeat those words and bombard you. I'm not trying to be Mulan all over again. Instead, I want to be living proof of those words. I want you to, because after you hear it for a while, you seem to realize that it loses its true value. The words, they become cliched and they're not as effective anymore. So today I want to show you how I want to reinforce that idea and share to you my experience and how I dealt with the stressful period of choosing my major and how I dealt with the pressure that I received from my parents. Now, to some of you, you're like, big whoop, you know, I mean, I could go into college as undeclared or later, after a few years, change my majors. Well, I'm here to address the other population of students, the other kids who are just like me, who have parents who have high expectations, and they expect that you're going into college knowing what you're going to do, and there's no time or money to change your majors left and right. So if this applies to you, just please hear me out. I never really believed those words that I said earlier, follow your heart or follow your dreams. I didn't even believe it when people told me that if you do what you love, it won't feel like you're working a single day. For me, I just work because I want the money. Now, I never thought what I wanted to be. When people asked me in 8th grade, I just told them I wanted to be a pharmacist. I don't know why, I just said I wanted to be a pharmacist. I'm pretty sure it's for the money though. I didn't have a dream because for me, you only work to make money and money equals happiness. So since then, I've told everyone that I want to be a pharmacist. Now that I look back, I really don't know why I chose to become a pharmacist. So starting in 10th grade, after taking care of my baby cousin, Koi, I realized that I really loved dealing with little kids. And from that moment, I was like, I want to be a pediatrician. But little did I know, because that following year, I learned that it's not easy. You actually have to take the MCAT, which is the SATs on steroids, and you have to go through many, many years of schooling just to become a pediatrician. And on top of that, I don't think I could handle the stress of being the bearer of bad news in my pocket. And every time I accidentally touch something, I'd immediately go scrub my hands for 30 seconds under hot water and soap until I felt like I was clean, so that was not the job for me. But I felt like I told my dad that I wanted to be a nurse just to go against his words, because he said that you should be a pharmacist, and I said, I don't want to be a pharmacist, I want to be a nurse. And when he said, okay, fine, I guess a nurse is a good job too, I said, no, I don't want to be a nurse, I want to be a doctor. And he said, okay, fine, doctor's a good job too. I said, no, I want to be a pharmacist. So why I did this was because I felt like I wanted to be in charge of my own decision. I didn't want him to influence my decision. That is why I didn't want him to tell me what I should be, even though it would come out to be the same results. So after thinking about it, because I know nursing is not for me, now if you think about all the careers that I mentioned before, what do they all have in common? They're all part of the medical field. And it seems so typical that every Asian parent would want their kids to go into the medical field, and that was with my parents too. And they care for you, it's because they want you to have that job stability, and I understand. But for some people, it just isn't for you. So that's how, when we had a conversation during dinner, my dad said, okay, really, what do you want to be? And I'm pretty sure he was hoping that I would say either pharmacist, nursing, or doctor, because at that time I was confused. This was before my college apps. And I told him, really, I can be anything? Are you sure? And he said, yeah, you can be anything you want. And I was like, okay, I want to be a math teacher. And then that's when his face dropped, and he just looked at the TV. Even though he said he supported my decision, it did seem so then. And honestly, I think at that moment, I didn't genuinely want to become a math teacher. I just said that to piss him off. But so I didn't know if it was genuine or not, but now that I think about it, it was something, I was playing with the idea, something that I ventured outside of the medical field, something that was different. So he wasn't happy, and he said, why do you want to be a math teacher? And I said, because at school, I tutored the other kids at Europe, and I felt like that's what I really like to do. And he said, just because you think you're good at math, and just because people tell you you're good at math, doesn't mean you really are good at math. And I felt so sad because I felt like math was the only thing I can do, so if I can't even do that, I don't know what else I can do. So he told me, he called my cousin who was at the time studying to be a math teacher, and he asked her how hard was math in college. And she said, yeah, you just learn higher up math, it's not like calculus anymore, there's actually other stuff up there. And I felt like he was trying to prove his point that I shouldn't become a math teacher and that I should stay into the medical field. So I cried and I didn't talk to him for a while. And then, when we had to submit our UC applications, I put down as pharmaceutical chemistry, so I wasn't able to change that in time because I listened to my dad. But in December, I still had another chance. It was with the USC application, and there was a question asking about educational vitality and how you would be able to pursue them at USC. So I was thinking about it, and I said, okay, might as well, I'm just gonna write about chemistry. But I didn't know what to write. So I asked my friend that goes to Stanford, and I asked her, I need help with my essay, I don't know what to write. And she said, okay, so what are you writing about? And I said, I'm going to write about chemistry. And she said, why do you like chemistry? And I said, I like chemistry because I like Miss Bailey. And she said, okay, that's good. Why else do you like chemistry? And I told her, because it was a hard class, but I managed to get an A. It was a challenge, but I did it. That's why I like it. And she said, okay, what else? And I said, I don't know. And she said, do you like the labs? I said, not really, I got a C on them. And then, so I figured that I really don't know how to answer this question. So she says, okay, let's see, think about this for a moment. Why do you really like it? And I told her, I like chemistry like I like the color blue. I like the color blue, but I can't explain why I like the color blue. You can like any color, but you can't explain why you like it. And she said, Mimi, do you think the admission officers want to hear this? Is that what they want to hear? So I said, no. And she said, okay, so what do you like to do? And I told her about the conversation I had with my dad about becoming a math teacher. And then she yelled at me, she's like, why didn't you tell me this earlier? Because now we could have saved like an hour coming up with something like fake about why you like chemistry. But so I said, yeah, I like it. She said, okay, tell me more about it. I said, I guess I have this like weird obsession with whiteboards. Like even though I could teach them on a piece of paper, I'd still have to go on the whiteboard and write. It's just a little obsession that I had. She said, okay, what else? I said, that reminds me of one time in elementary school. I'd go through my teacher's trash cans and pull out their transparency papers. And at the time I had a white fridge, so I'd stick it on the white fridge, and that was my whiteboard and I'd use a highlighter and I would write on it, and that was what my whiteboard was. And then after thinking about that, I was like, hey, wait a minute. Like over the summer, I also did tutor my little cousins, and like every time they did something wrong, I'd make tally marks and make them run around the house. And I was like, I'm seeing a little connection here. And then just last summer, I tutored my cousin's Algebra 1. And then now this year, I'm a gear up tutor. It's like, this is a sign. I must be blind because I haven't seen this all along. But so that's when I really realized that I wanted to be a math teacher, and I don't care what my dad said, I wanted to be a math teacher. So of course this wasn't easy to tell my dad because I was still scared of my dad. So when my mom supported me that she wanted me to do what I wanted to do. But in December, she had to go to Vietnam to visit her grandma, and I was abandoned for 2 weeks with my dad. And that was a bad thing because I knew that every time I'm with my dad for such a long period of time, something bad would happen. We would have some kind of conflict. And little did you know, just right on the car ride back, he was like, Mimi, let's talk. Why do you want to be a math teacher? And I said, it's because I talked to my friend and I realized, and she's like, why didn't you realize that earlier? And I said, because I don't know, but now I really realized that I want to be a math teacher. And he said, okay, fine, you want to be a math teacher? You go to San Jose State. And I have no problem with San Jose State, but if you didn't notice, my parents are really controlling. So the first chance I had, I have to go to somewhere else that at least 2 hours away. So, at that time, I was mad at him because he said that I had to go to San Jose State, but I really didn't want to go to San Jose State. So when we got home, I decided, he's like, you can't even change your major. Do you know how hard it is to change your major in the UC? I knew he was bluffing because he doesn't know himself. But I said, no, but we can figure it out. And then, so I go home and I try to look at how to change your major at a UC. And I don't really find anything, but I'm just too mad to think about it. So I'm not proud of this, but I gave my dad a silent treatment for 5 days. And it was because my mom wasn't there, so he didn't have anyone to talk to, so I think he was the first to cave in. So one day I got home, I checked my email, and I got an email from my dad. He said, "Here's how you change your major." And he had several links of how to change your major at different schools, and I was like, oh, so yay, maybe I can do what I want now. And so from this experience, what I want to hope you guys get out of this is that it's not too late to change your major. If you want to, you can do whatever you want, because it's true. Now I actually really look forward to my future. Yes, money is great too, but at least I'm happy doing it. And I'm really excited for when I become my own teacher, hopefully at Independence. That's what I really want to do. And from this experience, nothing bad happens. Like with my dad, our relationship is like a lot better than from before, because we're able to talk to each other. And what I'm trying to say is that parents can't hate you forever, especially if you're a girl and you're an only child and you're me, then they can't hate you forever. So that's why my dad eventually allows me to do whatever I want. And even it's really cute, because even till today, he still hopes that I will become a pharmacist. So he'll like, Mimi, pharmacist is good, but I mean, okay, you want to be a math teacher, that's fine too. But he also says, Mimi, if you go to San Jose State, I'll buy you a BMW. But I'm not gonna fall for that. I'm still I'm hoping to go 2 hours away. So, thank you. That's all.